Hey guys, Mike Chen. In this video, I am in Jeju, South Korea, where I found this cafe right by the ocean that serves up a pretty incredible seafood soba breakfast. Also, when you're in Jeju, you gotta try out the hairtail fish. This fish is absolutely ginormous. And before getting to all that, I just want to give a big thank you and shout out to the sponsor of this video, Surfshark VPN. I've been using Surfshark VPN for several years now. It's one of the only apps I have that keep running 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. As we all know, digital security is a big deal. A lot of our personal information is floating out there, and there's a ton of people trying to gain access to it. From data aggregators who are trying to collect your personal information to sell to marketing companies, or people trying to gain access for more malicious purposes, especially when you're out and about at cafes, airports, train stations, when you're connected to random Wi-Fi hotspots. These hotspots are rarely secure, and it's a great way for people to gain access to your private information. If you don't know, a VPN is a virtual private network, and what Surfshark VPN does is that it encrypts and secures your personal information before it goes over the internet. So people who you don't want having access to your private info, they're not gonna have access to it. Also, Surfshark has something called Surfshark Alerts, so when someone is trying to gain access to something like your email, you will be notified right away. Surfshark VPN is also really convenient if you're traveling overseas and you want to have normal access to US websites like video streaming sites, or even a lot of major US bank websites don't work when you're trying to access it from abroad. So what you can do with Surfshark VPN is you can change your digital location back to the US so you never miss your favorite movies or TV shows, or when you're trying to pay your bill. Like I said, I keep it running at all times. It's super fast. You'll never notice that it's running, but it's giving you a peace of mind. So if you want to give it a try, go to my link down below. Use my promo code DUMPLING. You'll get 83% off your order plus 3 additional months for free, and try it out for 30 days. If you don't like it for any reason, get your money back. Hey guys, good morning. It's Mike Chen here on the beautiful Jeju Island. Today's gonna be another incredible seafood adventure, and it all starts right here at Elephant on the Sea. That serves up some amazingly beautiful food that's very fitting for the scenery. Even the water's beautiful here. Let me show you what I got. So cold soba noodle with fresh salmon sashimi, and ramen with crawfish, mussels, scallops, octopus, and of course, abalone. And finally, two 2-foot long, so a combined 4-foot long kimbap. One with stir-fried Jeju black pork with peppers, the other one with hairtail fish, abalone, and uni on top, all kissed by the flames of a torch. And of course, being able to enjoy this while looking at that. Start with the ramen. Oh, this is a really seafoody ramen. All that great seafood flavor steeped into the noodles. A little spicy, a little briny. Chase it with some scallops. That adds a little sweetness to the mix. Mussels. That is a juicy mussel. It's so crazy, so I got pretty much a whole octopus in here. This is really, really tender. All this, of course, goes so well with the ramen. Abalone, the Jeju special. That's my favorite seafood on this island. I mean, a simple pack of ramen is just absolutely transformed by all the seafood flavors that's infused inside the soup. These are some amazing breakfast noodles. Also, you think a giant bowl of ramen like this with so much seafood sitting right beside the ocean would be pretty pricey? About $10 US for all this. Unbelievable. Next up, the soba noodles with fresh salmon sashimi. Add a little fresh wasabi into the broth. Tiny bit of fresh wasabi on the salmon as well. That's so refreshing. That's some fresh as can be and tender as can be salmon. These are some really chewy noodles. Texture-wise, chewy noodles goes with the melt in your mouth pieces of salmon. Little kick from the wasabi. Again, a beautiful dish like this, about 10 US dollars. Finally, the kimbap. This is really, really good. That is not just a giant kimbap, it's also a freaking delicious kimbap. Jeju pork, one of my favorite things in the world. Slightly sweet and nutty, beautifully tender and smoky from that torch. The rice in the kimbap is delicious as well. First bite of hairtail fish since coming to Jeju. That fish is absolutely incredible. It's one of my favorite fish in the world, and I've been eating it since I was a kid. It's so meaty. It's almost like a steak with a giant bone in the middle and just fillet on either side. This kimbap, it's made with abalone rice, with abalone on top, with the uni. The rice itself is already filled with so much umami. Then you got that sweet abalone with that creamy, sweet urchin on top. So you get spicy hairtail fish and regular hairtail fish. Not gonna go wrong with either one. This is the most ultimate surf and turf kimbap. This is such an awesome restaurant. I mean, you come to Jeju, you wanna see the ocean, you wanna eat the seafood, and here, you can do both. Everything's so affordable and delicious. Just an incredible meal. Incredible breakfast. Still early. I eat up and go for lunch. So behind me here, these are the haenyos I talked about in another video. So these ladies, usually all over 80 years old, they go out diving every single day for abalone, octopus, conch, and they bring it to these local restaurants. It's pretty amazing. Next up, another dish you just have to try if you're ever in Jeju. Couple different types of fish you can get here. One is grilled, which I love. It's classic. It's got that beautiful smoky flavor, just a little bit of salt. Delicious. I've never had one that's cooked in a stew with a bunch of seafood laid across. And once you order the fish, they bring over a bunch of appetizers. This dish is called mohe, and it's basically a fish sashimi soup. So abalone on top, inside a bunch of vegetables like seaweed, tomatoes, cabbage. Never get sick of abalone on this island. The most tender you'll find anywhere. Anywhere. Next you have hairtail fish sashimi on abalone shells. Little gochujang. I've never had this fish raw before. The skin is a little chewy, but the fish itself is very, very delicate. Also, braised Jeju pork. That's always good. Oh wow. If you see this orange juice when you're walking around Jeju, get it. Jeju, of course, famous for oranges. This thing just tastes way, I don't know, more orangey than regular orange juice, more citrusy. They just got more flavor. So this fish is about 1,000 grams. So over 30 ounces of fish, and it is giant. It's cooked inside a stew with tons of veggies like carrots, mushrooms, scallions, radish, peppers, and swimming with other seafood like abalone, octopus, giant prawns. And then there's a ramen in there, of course, for good measure, just to soak up all that delicious seafoody broth. To eat, take a giant section of the fish, add some abalone to it, mushrooms, and like I said, this fish has a giant bone in the middle, and there's bones on either side, but this right here on either side is just pure tender fillet. Look at that, just glistening and moist. Oh my God, every time I bite into this, first, you're gonna be hit by how succulent and tender the meat is. This fish, when it's stewed, the meat becomes so soft, and there's no bones really mixed in the meat, so it's safe to eat. It's just that giant bone in the middle. The meat is flaky, really, really mild. Remove the bone, and now you really just have a roll of bones on either side of the fish. Take those out, you're pretty much good to go. And with that delicate meat, it's naturally mildly sweet. With the spices and the heat from the broth, this thing is just absolutely magical. Like I said, every time I eat this, I'm taken aback by how good this is. Second, it's just pure nostalgia for me. My grandma used to roast it, she would stew it. This was my favorite fish growing up. And you don't see this a lot in the US at all. Try the abalone. Fresh abalone. Probably just delivered to them this morning by the haenyo. That's the most tender abalone I had in Jeju so far. That's so good. Get some of this octopus, add it to my rice. That octopus is so tender as well. Combine that with a fragrant black rice. There's just so much aroma in that bite. For these kind of stews, I love the daikons. Put some of that in there. Oh, some potatoes in here as well. This is my favorite thing to eat in Jeju. I mean, I love the black pig, but this, I'm not kidding, because I was raised by my grandma, and pretty much every single day, this will be at the dinner table, and I never get sick of it. I like the roasted one as well. And you can just take a spoon to this, and the meat comes clean off. And this, all there is, little bit of salt. Absolutely phenomenally perfect. You don't need to do a lot with this fish. It just tastes so good. Oh, also there's rice cakes in here too. And don't forget the ramen. This to me just tastes like pure happiness. Also, this is a local Korean shrimp. Take that for a swim in the stew. So sweet. And what's awesome is that when you order this, they give you both options. Some grilled, some stewed. That way you get the best of both worlds. You can pretty much eat this like a piece of fried chicken. This dish, another major reason why I love Jeju. You don't find this really anywhere else but here. I do remember once though, when I was eating this when I was a kid, I got one of these bones stuck in my throat. And the solution back then was I had to just keep drinking Chinese vinegar until I softened the bone and then use some rice, hopefully get that bone unstuck. Good times. And not too far away, down the beach, I'm at a place that serves something truly unique and truly beautiful. Introducing a seafood bouquet. Full of crab, calamari, octopus, prawns, pumpkin, and of course, abalone. This is fun. Little bottle of Italian seasoning in a spray bottle. Kind of like you're watering flour. Octopus, dip in a little bit of the chilies. This thing looks beautiful. Tastes pretty darn good too, especially with this Italian seasoning spray. Nice and citrusy. Dunk it in some extra sauce if you want. Light and crispy on the outside. The shrimp is very nice. Chase it with a Jeju specialty tangerine drink. That's actually a perfect combination, nice and refreshing for something that's fried. Dumping out the bouquet. Oh, there's some calamari fries on the bottom as well. So this is something that's just really good to grab and go. Easy to carry, fried abalone. Lightly battered, crispy on the outside, delightfully tender, and naturally sweet. It's definitely the most beautiful bouquet of seafood I've ever had. Pretty much a very fancy seafood and chips meal. I like it. Another dish I got here, which is their specialty, arancini balls. And this is an Italian dish made with cooked risotto. So it's crispy fried on the outside, risotto inside stuffed with melty mozzarella. Also inside Jeju pork. Delicate, subtle crunch on the outside, melty cheese, huge porky flavor. There's extra sauce to add. It's a combination of creamy, savory, cheesy flavor that contrasts beautifully with a crunchy outer shell. And because it's such a rich dish, between bites, cleanse your palate with a radish. This is another one of their specialty drinks, a grapefruit soda. These are so refreshing. I think I like the tangerine better. Grapefruit a little bitter. Tastes really good with the fried food. I think that wraps up breakfast and lunch. So take a little break. I'll see you for a very special pizza dinner. Here we are, Bosco. This pizza is pretty incredible. It's a dark dough, and the reason why the dough is so dark is because they mix in local seaweed they get from the ocean into the dough. And because there's a volcano on Jeju, a volcano of fried potatoes with, again, local seaweed on top. Around it, the lava, it's 8 shrimp, again, sourced locally. And finally, a ring of cheese surrounding the volcano of potatoes. And they have instructions on how to do this. Okay, first step, remove the shrimp. Flatten the potato volcano. Spread the fried potato evenly. Put the shrimp back on. Take your slice of pizza. This is really interesting. I never had seaweed dough pizza before. Crust is very, very thin and toasty, almost like a Neapolitan pie. This is amazing, amazing pizza. Take my prawn. That prawn is so good. The sauce is a little spicy, a little sweet. The meat of the prawn is almost sweeter than the sauce. The dough is supremely light. There's 2 types of cheese, tomato sauce. The crunchy potatoes really provide a beautiful contrast. So this thing is crispy, it's gooey from all that cheese, and then you get this subtle umaminess from the pizza dough with that gorgeous char that provides a hint of bitterness. This is outstanding. It tastes just like a Neapolitan pie with such a fun twist. So the Haewol, the group of ladies who go diving every day, they collect the seaweed for this restaurant. And this is such a uniquely delicious pizza. This is amazing. I will highly, highly recommend this. If you're in Jeju, you want a great pizza, this is out of this world. The shrimp is amazing. The dough is spectacular. I love the gooey cheese. I love the potatoes. Absolutely phenomenal. And right down the street from the pizza place, a local night market. This is so pretty. It's all lit up with Halloween lights. Really like this night market. It's so serene. It's not the typical crowds of people. It smells so nice because it's among the pine trees. There's some squid, smoked and fried turkey leg. Lamb skewers with tons of cumin. Whoa, I think they put some soybean powder on the outside of this. This is so good. Melty, fatty lamb skewers. This is my last night here in Jeju, and this trip definitely checked every single food item off my list. I think the coolest experience was to be able to eat a conch sashimi directly from the divers themselves. Unfortunately, that profession is dying out. I think this is one of the last generations of these divers. So I was hoping to actually dive with them on this trip, but there wasn't enough people to sign up for the session. I think I was the only one that signed up. So hopefully next time. This is such a serene, beautiful island with just magical food. So if you're ever in South Korea, definitely recommend coming here. And as always, all places I went to, list down below for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Until we eat again, see you later.